I got absolutely torched in one of the biggest pots of the summer. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Ace Poker here. I'm finally back in my home state of New Jersey. I've been on the road for the past 4 months, and lucky for you guys, I played plenty of cash, lots of cool vlogs to come, but like I said, got absolutely torched in today's vlog. Stay tuned till the end to watch it all through. You guys know I show the ups, the downs of being a 23-year-old poker player. Plenty of ups and downs to come, but now that I'm relaxing in New Jersey, gonna be playing online. If you guys want to play with me, oh, that's sus, cut that out. If you guys want to play online poker with me, the link's down below. We play every single day. Let's get right into today's hands. Alright, let's get right into it. We start the session like we have every other session as of late, calling some raises with some suited cards, ace-10 of diamonds, 10-8 of spades, not hitting anything, but oh my goodness, this first hand we get into with ace-king offsuit is off the charts. I open it up to $20, the button makes the call, and the big blind makes the call, so we're going 3 ways to a board of jack high. Nothing. We do have the ace of clubs, which could be interesting down the line, and like I've said in previous vlogs, I tend to c-bet every single board, but decide to check here, sometimes going to have some decent hands in our checking range, and the button snap checks to complete the flop, going to a turn which is the ace of spades, amazing card to see. The big blind checks, and now our hand is going to look very face up when we bet here, but just have to start putting some money into the pot somehow. So I bet out for $45, the button folds, but the big blind does make the call. So we're looking for a good river, and a good river is exactly what we get. An ace, both flush draws a brick out, and I think going massive here on the river is what you need to do. It's going to be extremely polarized. It's basically making my hand ace or nothing, but don't get too hung up on the jargon, because if you play against different players all the time, it almost doesn't really matter what you're doing and balancing yourself, because nobody knows how you play, so do whatever you want. So I decided to overbet the pot. I bet $220. I think you can even go bigger, maybe like $300, but it seems like $220 is probably the sweet spot, because the big blind thinks for quite a long time and decides to flick in the call. We proudly show the ace king and take it down. A great start to the session. Let's head to the next hand. All right, strap in. And I know I say, oh, I play a lot of crazy hands and this is crazy, but really this hand left me scratching my head while I was playing the damn hand, and I know this is going to leave you scratching your head as a viewer, so let's get right into it. I set up my phone late. I raised pocket jacks to $20 pre-flop and only get a call out of the guy to my right, and boom, we flop a set, but on a pretty weird board here. King 10 jack with 2 clubs, so super dynamic and wet. He checks it to me, and I decide to start off with half pot here. Probably should go a little bit bigger, but $20 is what I bet, and he decides to make the call, hoping for maybe like a 10, because a king would be dicey. He would be beating us if he had king 10 or king jack, although it's less likely for him to have the last jack, but nonetheless, let's head to a turn. It's the 8 of diamonds, so now it's 1 heart, 2 clubs, and a diamond. He checks it over to me, and now I think is when we have to size up. So I bet $110, which if I'm doing quick math, I think is a little bit over the pot, which I do like. Probably should go a bit bigger, like 130, 140. He could have so many combinations of hands like Queen 10, Queen Jack, that's a pair and an open-ended straight draw, and people just don't like folding those hands. And he thinks for a very long time, which is super interesting, because I actually thought he was about to put in a raise, and that would have been disgusting. Obviously, we're only losing to Queen 9 and Ace Queen, but both definitely in the range. Queen 9 more likely, because Ace Queen he's probably going to be 3-betting, but nonetheless, after a super long time, he decides to flick in the call. And when he thinks for a super long time like this and flicks in the call, it does kind of confirm my suspicions that he's going to have something like King Queen. He even could have like King 10 here for 2 pair and just have no idea if he's ahead and no idea if he should raise. But going to a river, which makes things even more dicey, it's the 7 of diamonds, which brings a one-liner into a 9. So if he did somehow have a combination of King 9, Jack 9, 10 9, he now has a straight, but the absolute bottom end of it. So if I do bet massive, he's probably just only going to call and not raise. But when he checks it to me for a 3rd time here, it's just one of the weirdest spots I've ever been in. I don't know if I should value bet a set here. I think it's super nitty to check back. I think I do have to put in a bet, and if he does spring the trap and raise now, we're going to have to disgustingly fold. So I think about the sizing, think about the pot. I decide to cut out, and I bet $180. It's just a super weird in between sizing. It's on the larger side, but it's not full pot. It's not an overbet. It's a spot that he's just like, I don't really know what to do if he just has a king. And he starts going deep into the tank, and it becomes very apparent to me that he's not raising, and very apparent to me that we have the best hand, because he starts saying out loud, oh, this is gross, oh, I don't know what to do. And the decision he comes to is also very head scratching. He starts shuffling his cards, you can't see it in the screen, and he says if he picks the one card, he's going to call, and if he picks the other card, he's going to fold. So I'm like, okay, I hope he picks the card that's call, because we obviously have the best hand. And I'm just kind of all over the place. He obviously doesn't have a set because his two cards are different. Maybe he has some kind of weird two pair, maybe he has like king 8 or king 7. Who knows? But after a long time, he picks a card and he flicks in the call. We show the pocket jacks and we take it down. I guess I got max value. I don't know how else I would have played this. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Super weird, and let's head to the next one. All right, I had to show you guys this hand too. An absolute insane hand went down at the table. I wasn't involved in it, but just look. Ace King of Hearts versus pocket 2s versus pocket 5s. On a 9-3 deuce 5 board with 2 hearts, 3-way all in. They decide to run it once, and Ace King binks the heart on the river. Oh my goodness, just absolute insanity. They were all over a K deep. I guess I'm just glad I didn't get beat in this hand, or I might flip over the table. Wow, oh my goodness. Time for my next hand. All right, we are playing poker today, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness, this hand is just off the rails. We look at ace queen offsuit. There's a raise in middle position to 20. By just some context, somebody who just got stacked and is rebuying, they don't have any chips yet. There are 2 callers and it gets back to me. Normally this is a slam dunk 3-bet, but I decide, you know what, let's just flick in the call one time. You don't want to be 3-betting something 100% of the time, and I don't remember the last time I just called a raise with ace queen. Obviously don't want to go multi-ways out of position, but just showing you guys what I did, and we may get rewarded as the flop comes queen 9-5 rainbow. Bang, we flop top pair, top kicker, going to be super disguised. So I started off with a check. The guy who raised initially, who doesn't have any chips yet, bets out for $35. The next player folds, and now the cutoff puts in the call. Okay, it's back on me. We could continue to be super deceptive, but I always like to play unorthodox. You guys know that. I play a very weird play style. I'm going to go for a check raise here. So that's what I do. I cut out and I check raise to $110. And the player with no chips, who is the pre-flop raiser, basically snap calls the 110, which I don't really know what to think. He could have aces, could have kings. He could just have us absolutely smashed, or he could have like queen jack, queen 10, king queen, and we could be in for a massive one because he's probably tilted after just losing a massive pot. The cutoff decides to fold, and we're going heads up to a turn of a jack. Okay, not the best because, like I said, queen jack is one of the hands that he definitely could have had, but we can't be scared of one hand. He could have jack 10 suited and also turned a pair along with his straight draw, and he's not folding anything, so we do have to continue betting here. I cut out and I bet $120, and once again, he basically snap calls. Okay, the snap call kind of confirms my suspicions that he probably has jack 10. I think queen jack might think about it for a little bit and debate raising, but nonetheless, going to a river, which is a king. Disgusting. A 10 now makes a straight. King queen also beats us. Absolutely disgusting. We were set up for a massive pot here, and now we're probably losing. So you're thinking, okay, check it over to him, you know, see what he bets. Maybe we'll call, maybe we'll make a nitty fold, but no. I can only show you guys what I did in the moment, like I always say, and what I did in the moment is bet $180. I think that this is an awful play. I think this is 100% a check and then evaluate whatever he does. If he bets super small, maybe we can try to hero call, but there's just literally no combination of hands that we're beating. All of his bluffing hands pretty much get there. It just makes no sense for me to call down, and it makes even less sense to bet. But like I said, can only show you guys what I did. I cut out and I bet $180, and after a little bit of a think, my opponent slides out $500 for a raise. Yeah, pretty much saw that one coming. I don't even think he's probably going this thin with 2 pair because I could have a 10 myself. I think he definitely has a 10, or who knows, maybe he's got a set, some weird hand. I decide to fold. My opponent says, I got lucky on ya, and shows a 10. So I guess that means he had queen 10. Super, super unfortunate. We had an awesome setup, but hey, can't win every single hand. Let me know down below how you guys think I played it, and on to the next one. Okay, we look down at 5-9 of spades. No, you guys are not seeing that wrong. And you're definitely not seeing wrong that I opened it up to $40. There was a $10 straddle on, so pretty interesting here, getting spicy and in the mix. The button and small blind both make the call, so going heads up to a board of 6-7 deuce rainbow. The small blind checks here, and I'm going to be continuing with a lot of hands, so might as well throw some airball bluffs in there as well. I continue here for $55. The button folds, but the small blind makes the call. Not sure how many strong hands he's going to have here, so planning on putting on the pressure on the turn, but oh my goodness, we turn the straight, the 8 of diamonds. No, this is real life. This is not made up. This actually happened. What a spot we have got ourselves into now. The small blind checks, and I'm just completely thrown off. I was planning on betting massive here as a bluff, but now that we have an actual value hand, I don't want to go massive. So I continue here for $80, and I'm happy to see the small blind makes the call. As you see, he doesn't have too many chips. I think it's somewhere in the range of $300, $350. So definitely going to be going for max value on the end here. We see the jack of hearts. This is a great run out. I was probably going to triple barrel with ace king, ace queen, and obviously my 5-9 suited, like I said, was gearing up for a big bet on the turn, big bet on the river, so might as well continue now that we have a value hand. I go all in, and I'm happy to see my opponent does not snap fold. He doesn't snap call, so now just rooting for a call, but after a long think, he folds. Ugh. Pretty interesting and pretty funny spot we got ourselves into here. This session has just been off the chain, off the hook, might as well continue it. We look down at pocket queens just 10 minutes later, going to look very aggressive as I just went all in on the triple barrel last hand, and just 10 minutes later, now we're gonna be putting in a big 3-bet. Under the gun opens it up to $30 after there's a $10 straddle on the button. I decided to 3-bet this one up to $120. I like the big sizing, and the initial raiser snap calls. Didn't even give it any thought, just puts in the call. Usually pretty good sign, as you know, that's going to be a lot of pocket 8s, pocket 9s, 8-9 suited, 9-10 suited. He's going to be thinking about aces, kings, queens if he wants to put in a 4-bet, so the snap call doesn't really show too much strength in my eyes. And we get not a good board at all. Ace, king, jack, rainbow. He checks it to me, and I do think we have to continue here. Don't have to go big at all. I would continue with ace king, ace queen if I just flop the nuts with queen 10 suited. So I bet out for $80, and my opponent snap calls. So not good. Maybe my initial read was wrong. Maybe he's got something like ace 10 suited. Maybe he just flopped 2-pair with ace jack suited. Who knows? Gonna have to see what the turn brings. The turn is the 3 of hearts, bring in a heart flush draw. He checks it to me. I think this is a great spot to check back and take a free card, pray to bink that 10 on the river. But nonetheless, I decide to check back, and oh my goodness, this session has just been insane. We river the straight. It is a heart, the 10 of hearts, but I don't think he's gonna have very many, if at all, any backdoor heart combinations. And now he just leads out here for $80. Okay, I do think we have to go for some value. I don't need to make it massive because I do want him to pay off his 2 pairs and, you know, all that good stuff. But I do choose somewhat of a larger sizing. I make it $325, and he snap calls me. And wait till you see what he has. He rolls over queen 6 of spades. Queen 6 of spades. Somehow he pulls a chop out of his ass. I don't even know what to say. I was just like, all right, nice hand, sir. And on to the next one. What the fuck? Then we continue the aggressive route. We 3-bet king queen here over a raise to a pretty massive sizing. Just, you know, 15 minutes later, we get an ace high board. Not good for our actual hand, but good for our actual range. So when it's checked to me, I decide to continue here for a pretty big sizing of $110, and happy to see that my opponent folds the same one with queen 6. So got some of our chips that we should have got with pocket queens, and on to the next one. All right, time for one of the most frustrating hands that I have ever played. We look down at ace 6 of hearts. I want to go through the pre-flop action. There was a raise in middle position to $20 and 2 callers. It gets back to me on the big blind. Obviously, we're going to be putting in the call here. Don't need to be bumping this one up out of position. And we go to a board of Jack, Jack 7 with 2 hearts. So things are about to get a little spicy. I check. The initial raiser continues for 30. There's 1 call, and I'm going to be putting in the call here, looking to see a heart, and we not only get a heart, but we get one of the best hearts in the deck, the 3 of hearts. So if somebody does have a jack here, we're probably going to be coolering them in a massive pot because the only full house they're going to have here is Jack 7. Don't think anyone's playing a Jack 3, but hopefully we can get stacks in against King Jack, Queen Jack, Ace Jack, and make a lot of money. So I continue in flow and check here. Hopefully somebody bets, and the initial raiser who bet on the flop does continue here. He bets out for $55. The next player thinks about it for a really long time and then decides to fold, which does concern me because what is he thinking about for a super long time and folding? Did he make a nitty laydown with a jack? Don't think so, but when it's back on me, like I've said earlier in this episode, and like I always do, I want to play a little unorthodox. I go for the check raise here with the nut flush. I make it $160, and the other player basically beats me into the pot. Snap calls the 160, so could be a case of what I was saying. He's just got a jack and not a full house here, looking for some kind of clean river, but kind of hard to navigate these spots because you don't know what card he has with his jack, don't know what he's looking to have on the river. Like for instance, say an 8 or a 9 comes, I could be thinking that's good, but he could have jack 8, jack 9, and we're screwed. But nonetheless, the river is a king. Not good at all. We could be losing to pocket kings. Remember, he did raise it up pre-flop, something that pocket kings would and should do. Could also have king jack, so not the best. I think the strategy that I want to go with here is betting on slightly larger sizings, and if he does put in a big raise, we can fold. So I cut out and I bet $210. Don't love the sizing. Think I should be betting like 350, 400, 450, 500, completely polarizing my hand and just getting him to stick it in there with ace jack, queen jack, jack 10. But my opponent does think it over for quite some time and decides to raise to $700. Ugh. All right, let's think about this for a second. I did say that I wanted to bet and I would fold to a raise, but let's think about the hand. He raised pre-flop, bet on the flop, bet on the turn, and called my check raise. Like I said, pocket kings makes perfect sense. King jack makes perfect sense. And besides that, the only other possibility is some kind of bluff, because if he had something like the queen high flush, even the king high flush, I think he would just call here with this paired board. I'm showing pretty much a lot of strength check raising the turn and then betting the river. Don't think he would raise a smaller flush, so to me, it's either some kind of bluff, some kind of suicidal bluff that he's attempting to pull off, or it's a full house, which would be one of 2 hands, pocket kings and king jack. I just don't see him opening Jack 7 suited in middle position with a bunch of people behind, very susceptible to be getting 3-bet, and not the best hand to be playing out of position in a 3-bet pot. I want to vomit all over the table. I really want to fold. I really want to stick in this call. I have no idea what I should be doing here. I think maybe I should be flipping a coin and just going with whatever that decides. This is the same guy that got me earlier with the river 10. I could tell he was the splashy type and, you know, not afraid to put his chips in the middle, and obviously, as you saw, he was calling earlier without even having his chips after getting stacked, and he quote-unquote got lucky on the river against me. It just doesn't really make sense, the hand, so after the longest time, I do decide to stick in the call, and once again, he hits me with the, oh, I got lucky on you, man. King, jack, suited. Oh, my goodness, I hate my life. I should have just went with my gut and trusted my gut, just bet and fold to a raise. Ugh, maybe I would have saved myself some money if I chose a bigger sizing, bet 350, 400, and then he would have jammed his like $1,000 left instead of, you know, raising to 700. I don't know. Let me know down below how you guys would have played this. I'm just feeling super stupid, and I show you guys all the hands, even though I didn't want to show this hand because I just felt like I fucked it up and played it so bad, but I show you guys the highs, the lows, and you know, just the reality of poker. I make plenty of mistakes. I'm human. I don't want to get on here and just show all my biggest winning hands because that's just unrealistic. I show you guys all the hands, all the big hands that I play. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this hand, I guess. I don't know. I didn't fucking enjoy it. And let's go to the next one. All right, guys, editing the video here. Hair is a mess. Just got out of the shower. I flew in today, barely got any sleep the last few days, and I said, Am I gonna miss a weekly vlog that I haven't missed in over a year? No, I'm sitting my ass on this chair and editing. Here are the session results. We lost $450 today, all due to that last hand, but we had 8 wins in a row at Resorts World and unfortunately booked our first loss. Curiosity got the best of me, definitely should have folded and we would have been on our way to book yet another win, but I want to say stay tuned for some announcements this coming week. I am getting to cross off a massive bucket list goal for me, all due to your guys' support. I want to say thank you guys so much for supporting me. It means the world. It's why I can do this. It's why I can travel the world. You guys are family to me. I love each and every single one of you guys. If you watch till the end, love you even more. So thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Hope you guys have a good day, great week, and I'll catch you next time.